Okay, so welcome everyone. We're going to start in a laying down position in Shavasana, but with a block. So take your block and place it on the medium height. And that's for your head. So you can just ease yourself down onto the block and just position the block so the edge, the first edge, is just underneath the base of your skull. Just draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Let the arms be alongside your body, palms facing up. And I'm going to extend my legs. It's up to you whether you can try it. If it bothers your low back, just bend the knees. Just let the feet and the knees flop out to the side. And maybe you want to just rock your head slowly and gently from side to side. And just give the points just below the occipital ridge a little massage. It's a really nice thing to do if you have a headache or any tension in your neck. And then whenever you feel the time is right, you can just come back into stillness and just feel the weight of your head descending down into the block. And begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. It's noticing the rhythm of your breath. No need to change it in any way. It's beginning to connect with your energy body and with your physical body. Dropping out of your thinking mind and into your feeling body. And notice what's present. This is an opportunity for you to listen to your body and to connect with your inner landscape, your sacred inner landscape. It's beginning to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And as you watch your breath, you might find that the breath just deepens naturally on its own. Letting the heads of the shoulders descend into your mat, relaxing, softening your whole body. Letting go of your day, letting go of your week. And then very slowly start to bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, about hip distance apart. And slowly remove the block from under your head, release your head to the floor, lift your hips and slide the block underneath your sacrum. So make sure it's not at your low back, but at that flat bone back of the pelvis just above the tailbone. And just let your hips settle in here, relaxing your hip flexors, letting your upper back body sink into the floor beneath you. Softening the space between your eyebrows. Softening the skin on your forehead. And let your jaw be slack. And if you like, you can raise the height of the block to the medium height. So I'm going to do that. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, raise it up to the medium height. See how that feels. If it feels too high, just bring it back to the lowest height. Just feel your brain cooling, letting your mind become more and more introspective. Notice your belly as it rises and falls. An option, you can stay here if you want to take a more restorative, continue with this more restorative pose, or you can extend one leg along the floor, let the heel rest on the floor. Notice how that feels in your low back. If it feels okay, you can go ahead and extend the other leg. If the block is too high, just bend the knees, reduce the height of the block back to its lowest height. Again, this is just an option. You can stay with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor if that feels good and restful. Maybe you want to extend the arms above the head and catch opposite elbows. It's adding a little bit more stretch to your side ribs, to your waist, your front body. Continue to follow your breath. Let it guide you deeper and deeper inside yourself. Relaxing the legs, relaxing your hips. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And when you're ready, begin to slowly bend one knee, place the foot on the floor, and then the other leg. If you're on the medium height, just very carefully squeeze the glutes, lift the hips slightly, lower the block down to its lowest height, and just let the hips settle in here for a few breaths. And so we've been on a block in a back bend for some of you for some time. So before you lift your hips, just squeeze the glutes, get the muscles firing again, and release. So without lifting the hips, squeeze and release, squeeze, release, and then squeeze, lift your hips, slide the block out, lower the hips down, and extend the legs long, and take a break. Take a few breaths. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Catch the front of your shins and squeeze the thighs into your chest, stretching out the low back. And if you want, you can add some movement, so rocking from side to side. Just give your low back a little massage. Maybe circling the knees one way. And then the other way. Just finding what feels good. And release the feet to the floor. Roll over onto one side. And slowly press yourself up into a seated position. And we'll come into extended child's pose, and option to use a bolster. So if you feel like you need some extra comfort, some extra soothing today, find your bolster. So separate the knees as wide as your mat, bring the base of the big toes together, and slide your bolster in right in between your legs. Bring your hands to either side of the bolster, press the earth away to lengthen through the spine, and then slowly release the belly, the chest, and the head to the floor. Keep your elbows wide. If you're leaving the bolster out and you would like more of a yin stretch, just walk the fingertips forward, reach through the fingertips, lengthen through the spine, and then slowly bringing your forehead to the floor. If your hips are up off your heels, just find a block or a blanket, bolster, place a block underneath your forehead to take the weight out of your head. And if you are resting on your bolster, I'll let you know when we're halfway through so that you can turn your head the opposite way. But feel free to turn your head as often as you like. And just let your muscles soften. So no holding, no gripping, just let everything be soft and relaxed. And bring your awareness to what you're feeling in your body in this moment. Maybe that's the feeling of your breath. tips of your nostrils, in your throat, in your chest, in your belly. Just feeling your body expand on every inhale and contract and soften on every exhale. Notice where you're feeling the pull in your body, through your ankles, maybe through your knees, your hips, shoulders. Let every exhale be an opportunity for releasing tension in the body, releasing any tension in the mind. And if you're on a bolster in supported child's pose, you can go ahead and turn your head to the opposite direction. Just let your face be soft, your jaw slack. Keeping your breath slow and low, down deep in the low belly. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, all the way to the fingertips. And taking this time to come back to yourself, come back to your center. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And we'll slowly begin to come on back up. So bringing the hands underneath the heads of the shoulders. Begin to push the floor away from you. And uncurl the spine. Come all the way back up. Just bring your knees together. Just pause here for a moment. Take a breath. Notice how you're feeling. And if you have the bolster between your legs, just push it to the top of your mat. And let's come up into all fours. So stacking shoulders over top of the wrists, stack the knees below the hip points, find your neutral spine. And we'll just do a couple of cat-cows here. So on the inhale, send your sit bones up, drop the belly button, lift the heart, look up, squeeze between the shoulder blades. And on the exhale, send the tailbone down, raise the belly button, Let the crown of the head dangle. Press the earth away from you. Spread between the shoulder blades. And then keep going on your own, at your own pace, linking your breath with your movement. And just visualizing your spine. Noticing where there's any sticky points, bits of tension. Maybe just linger there a little longer. And after you finish the cycle, finishing your cat pose, come back to your neutral spine. And bring your bolster back. So we're going to rest the head on the bolster. Maybe you need a block as well. The bolster might be a little bit too low, so just stack a block there as well. Walk the hands a little bit further forward. Tuck the toes under, and we'll come into a down dog. Just for not for too long, less than a minute. Lift the knees, lift the hips. Just rest your head on your bolster or on the block on top of the bolster. Just feeling a nice stretch through the backs of your legs, feeling a length through your spine. Press down through all 10 knuckles of your hands. And let's just take 3 more breaths here. Lift the low belly. And then we'll gently lower the knees. And let's bring the legs out in front. And we'll come into caterpillar pose. So let's use our bolster. So just slide the bolster underneath your knees and have the legs wide enough so that your chest can come forward between the thighs. And maybe you want to use your blocks to rest your head on. So maybe you need 2 blocks or 1 block. And whenever you're ready, you can start to fold forward. So again, just bringing your spine to mind, from tailbone to the crown of the head, and just get round. The arms can rest between the legs, it can rest on the feet or alongside the body. Just find a comfortable spot for your arms. If your hamstrings are really open and you're not feeling really enough of a stretch, just go ahead and take the bolster out. Up to you. You don't have to use a block. You can just let your head release. Maybe it rests on the bolster. Just feeling some compression through your belly. Your belly is squeezed. Giving your heart a massage, letting it hang forward in your chest. Relaxing your face, relax your jaw. Soften the shoulders, relax your neck. Let everything drip and melt towards your mat. Softening between the shoulder blades. Feeling your spine lengthen, become longer. Relax the legs, relax the feet. This is also a nice pose if you're suffering from a headache, just to bring some more circulation to the head. Maybe you want to consider taking a block out if you're resting your head on a block, or lowering it down to a different height. And just maybe coming a little deeper into the pose. Listen to your body, see how it feels. Stay where you are if it feels good. Notice if you start to grip or hold anywhere in the body, and take your breath to these parts to create more softness, more space, more openness. And we'll take 3 more breaths. We'll turn the palms to face down and start to push the earth away from you. And all the way back up. And let's go ahead and just lay down. So just scooch forward a bit, keep the bolster underneath your legs, and just lay down on your back and feel the release of your forward fold, bringing some extension back into your back. Just notice any new sensations in your body. Take one more breath. Let it out through the mouth. Bend your knees, push your bolster away from you, and roll over onto one side. Slowly make your way up to seated. Okay, so we're going to come into dangling, a supported version of dangling if you like. So you can stack your blocks like so. You can stack your blocks like so. This as long as they're relatively stable for your head. So let's come to a standing position and keep your feet about hip distance apart. And then bend the knees and just begin to round the spine forward. And just notice where you land. And maybe you want to fill the space between the floor and your head with some props. You don't have to. It's just an option if you want to feel a little more supported. So see how that feels. If you want to slide the blocks out and just dangle freely, by all means do that. You can bend your knees as much as you like. The more you bend your knees, the more the low back releases, sending the sit bones to the sky. Option to catch opposite elbows to create a little more weight. And option to work towards straight legs. So just listen to your body, see where you're at. No forcing, no pulling. Just softness and breathing. Decompressing the spine. This is amazing for decompressing the spine and opening the hamstrings, bringing circulation to the brain. It's also a good one for headaches if you're feeling tense or stressed. Let the head just be nice and loose. Relax the head and the neck. Listening to the sound of your breath. Know that you can always come out sooner. We're here for another minute, but if you've had enough, you can just come into a squat, come down and rest in child's pose. Okay, take one more conscious breath. Bend the knees even more. Bring the hands to the floor, toe, heel, toe, your feet, outer edges of your mat. Toes are pointing out. And bring your hips towards the floor, coming into a squat. Option to place a block underneath your hips, if you like, on the lowest height or on the medium height, whichever works for your body. You can take the block out and have a seat on your mat. Okay. So let's come into Supta, or a reclined butterfly. So find your bolster and your blanket, and just place your blanket on top of the bolster. Bring your sacrum to the short edge of your bolster. Have your blocks handy in case you want to support the legs. And just ease yourself down on your bolster. If you don't have a bolster, just lay on your back and Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees come out wide. So this is a really nice supported back bend and a chest opener, as well as a groin opener, inner thighs. So just relaxing the arms wherever they feel comfortable. Let the heads of the shoulders descend on the outside of the bolster. If the low back is bugging you at all, just lift the hips, anchor the tailbone down towards the bottom of your mat to lengthen the lumbar spine. Make sure your chin is a little bit lower than your forehead. So if you need to roll up your blanket a little bit more, just keep a length in the back of the neck. And just let your body descend down over your props. They're there to support you. So just surrender the whole weight of your body over your props. Let your jaw be slack. Soften the belly. Soften your heart space. And begin to extend your inhalations and your exhalations. So taking a nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose. And a slow, deep breath out through the nose. And continue to about 10 more cycles just like this. Slow, deep inhale. And slow release. At any time, you can take a break, come back to your normal rhythm of breathing for a few cycles of breath, and then come back to your extended breath whenever you're ready. Feeling an opening through the pelvis, an opening across your abdomen, and an opening across your chest. Supported from behind and welcoming and open to whatever crosses your path. Take 3 more conscious breaths here. Use your hands on the outside of your thighs to guide the knees back together. Use your left hand under your head, support the back of your head, and just slowly start to roll off your bolster and onto your side. Take a couple of breaths here, rest your head on your arm. And you can slowly come on back up. So keep your blanket at the top of your mat and have a block or a bolster on your right side and come to laying down position. So just extend the legs out long and just take a breath here. Checking in with how your body's feeling. And we'll bend the knees, place the feet flat on the floor. And lift your hips up. Slide your hips over to the left and then just drop them down onto the mat. Pick up the feet so they're in a tabletop position. Open the arms into a T shape, palms facing up, and guide the knees over to the right. If you need a bolster underneath your right leg or a block, or if you need something between the knees, just use whatever props you need. Guiding the left shoulder blade towards the floor. And relax your feet. Relax your legs, especially the inner thighs. Relax your belly. Feeling an opening across the heart space, your armpit chest area. And soften the muscles around your hips. Just let everything be relaxed. If you want to take the twist a little deeper, you can scissor the knees apart. So scissoring the top knee high and the bottom knee low, maybe scooching over onto your right hip a little more. So more weight comes into the top leg. If that's too much, just come back to a version of your stacked legs. Just listening to your body, mindful of your low back. You're feeling the broadening of your low back. Option to look towards your left fingertips to complete the twist. Really, if that feels comfortable for your neck. Let's feel your whole body being wrung out, massaging your digestive organs, opening the hips, opening the shoulders. And breathe. Take one more breath. Draw the navel to the spine and slowly bring one knee at a time back to center. Release the feet to the floor. Bring your hips back to center. Extend the legs long. Reach the arms above the head. Give yourself a big long stretch through the heels, through the fingertips. Lengthen out the spine again. Bring to mind your spine getting long. Feel the space in between each of the vertebrae. And draw the thighs in towards your chest. Catch your shins. Just release your low back for a moment. Maybe add a little movement if you like. And bring the hips back down to the floor. If you're using a prop on your right side, you can move it over onto your left side if needed. So feet flat on the floor, lift the hips, guide your hips over to the right and lower the hips down. Bring your arms into a T shape, reaching through the fingertips, palms facing up. Pick the feet up off the floor into a tabletop position and guide your knees over to the left. Supporting your bottom leg on a bolster or a block if you need it. And just begin to let go of all the tension in your feet, in your legs. Maybe looking away from the knees. Maybe scissoring the knees apart. So whenever you like, you can come a little deeper, but if it feels really good through your low back, feels good in your whole body, just stay where you are. But if you need a little more, sliding the top knee high, bottom knee low, maybe shift a little onto your left hip and find a deeper twist. You can always back it up. So just being compassionate and loving towards your body. 3 more breaths. Slowly start to bring one knee at a time back to center. Bring your feet to the floor. Recenter the hips. Stretch out long. Reach through the fingertips. Reach through your heels. Point your toes and reach through the toes. And hug the knees in towards your chest. One last massage to your low back. So just finding whatever feels good. Maybe even taking happy baby for a few breaths. So just noticing if there's anything your body wants to do before Shavasana. So maybe extending the legs up. Maybe taking happy baby for a few breaths. Rock from side to side in happy baby if that feels good. Extend the legs out into a V. And bring the knees back in towards the chest and squeeze yourself into a tiny little ball. So see if you can come up and kiss your knees and contract your whole body, squeeze into a tiny, tiny little ball. And open up into your Shavasana. You can lay flat on your back. You can find props to go under your head, under your knees. Just gathering up whatever you like to use for Shavasana. Maybe it feels good just to lay flat on your mat. Wherever you are, press into the elbows, press into the head, and guide your shoulder blades in towards the spine and down away from the ears. So let the arms be nice and wide away from the body, heads of the shoulders descending. The feet and the knees be wide and rolling away from each other. Let your jaw be slack. Relax the root of your tongue and let it fall away from the top palate. And soften all the little muscles around your eyes and let your eyes fall back into their sockets. Let your brain relax and release to the back of your skull. Soften the scalp, sides of your head, the back of your head. Relaxing the neck. Relaxing the shoulders. All the way down to your fingertips. Soften your chest, your abdomen, your belly. Relaxing the upper back, mid back, low back, your whole spine. Relaxing the hips, the thighs, knees, low legs, ankles, soles of the feet, tops of the feet, and all your toes. Allowing yourself to let go completely. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring your hands to your low belly and feel the low breath or the breath as it begins to deepen, fill your body. Maybe just rubbing the belly clockwise one way, just rubbing in circles. And bringing some movement into your toes and into your fingers. Giving them a little wiggle and rocking the head from side to side gently. Rotate your wrists and your ankles a few times in each direction. And then place your feet on your bolster, push your bolster away, and give yourself one last long stretch. Interlace the fingers, turn your palms inside out, and give yourself one last long stretch. Exhale and slowly make your way over onto one side. Take a breath on your side. And begin to press yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Just rest your hands on your legs, sit up nice and tall through your spine. Close your eyes. Bring your palms to your heart space. Just taking a moment to notice how you feel as a whole, body, mind, and spirit. And taking this feeling, whatever it is that you're feeling, peace, of centeredness, calm, with you into the rest of your evening. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me this evening. Namaste.
Oh, pretty dark in my room.